and make it as easy as possible for a customer to reach you and book you and get to your facility.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Eugene. I'm Stefan. I'm a sales manager here at Inowize. And today we are going to be speaking about a very important topic in the current business environment, about bookings and online bookings. And here with me, I have Eugene Lubbers. I hope I pronounced that one right. Co-founder and manager for Briq. Hello, Eugene. How are you doing today?
Hi, Stefan. Thank you very much for inviting me. And thank you very much because I enjoyed the previous episodes of this, how do you call it, a vodcast or a podcast? Very much. Very nice. We got in touch because I responded to one of the previous episodes. So thanks for having me today. Well, I'm Eugene. We started with Briq, let's say 3 years ago. Before we started that, we did some testing in an FAC in the Netherlands, in Utrecht. That's where we are founded as well. And what we did there is we started off with a fully offline company. They had no online bookings. It's a nice FAC. It's already in business for over almost 20 years. Family owned. They do go-karting initially as first. They have some laser tag, and they added an escape room game later on. They got some food and drinks, and we started there to make it online. So what I do. When we did that first step, then we slowly, after the first booking, we made it bigger and bigger and bigger, and that resulted in Briq Bookings right now.
Awesome. Thank you. That's a very nice story, how a business can start from another business. That's very cool. So, Eugene, please tell me, what was it the main thing that triggered your decision to work with the FEC environment?
That's mainly led by that we really discovered that in the FAC world, there was no real solution to automate or make bookings online in a way, especially when you have multiple attractions or multiple experience you want to book. So you can think that maybe entrance to an attraction amusement park is pretty easy because that's the entrance, the ticket allows you entrance to the gate. That's pretty easy, right? But if you have to book maybe like a cinema, you have to do something with time slotting and chairs. That's more difficult. Yeah. When you have an FAC with 3 different attractions in there, or experiences in there, and there's some food and drinks and different target groups, you have to build itineraries all the time. So probably every FAC owner recognizes this, that a kids party has a different flow than a stag party, or maybe than a group of friends who want to join. And they all want to do different things for a different budget, and you all have to plan it. And that makes the FAC very special or different than other niches that are out. And we definitely came there because we started out with the first customer in Utrecht, the Netherlands.
Okay. So I'm sure that there are many options out in the market for choosing the right booking software for an FEC. Eugene, could you please tell us what should an operator be careful at when choosing his booking platform?
I think what I think you should do is that one, you should make sure that your booking platform is serves your business. That's one. You have a certain way you do it, so make sure it serves your business. The way you work, the way your activity works. Second, you need to make sure that you make a step, I think, when you start with online booking, from working fully online towards online. You probably need to adjust it a little bit more, your way of working to the customer. You probably have to make it a little bit more easy and give a little bit more trust. So let's say it must be more easy maybe to cancel, or it must be more easy to change, or it must be more easy to alter your booking. Second thing is make sure you get the data. So make sure you get all the information of the customer. I think that's very important. So make sure that's good arranged. I would say it's very important that the stack of your booking solution is pretty future proof. So make sure it's open, it's API. It feels like a company you want to work with on the long term and not long on the short term. So I think that those are the main three things I would say are very important.
Okay. In this current business environment, is it better to automate bookings or to focus more on phone calls and that human interaction, like phone confirmations, phone validations?
I'm not really sure if they relate really, but I think there's a trend going on next to the whole COVID thing, right? And that is everything is moving online, and I don't think that is affected by COVID. So still, someone is on his iPad on a couch looking for a day out with his friends in the weekend, and at the moment he's looking at it, and you are not available by phone or mail because you are closed as an entrepreneur, which is totally logic. The customer nowadays wants direct feedback, direct confirmation that his booking is accepted.
Yeah.
And I think online is one of the most important things to make sure that's possible. We have a lot of young people working in our offices, and they don't even call a restaurant anymore if they can't book it online. So they don't book a restaurant if they can't book it online because they are afraid to call to make a reservation. I found that astonishing to realize, wow, they don't even call anymore to make a reservation for a restaurant. They only want to do it online. So it's not really about what you think as an entrepreneur. It's more about what is the standard of the market and what do people want and how do we want to work with you as a company and how do you want to be well experienced. How do you want to experience you as an entrepreneur? And I think the customer journey starts online right now, and booking is part of that.
Okay. But what will be some of the biggest challenges that our industry is facing in terms of online bookings?
I think a big thing in the online booking part is that if you look at the restaurant world, and maybe also at the hotel world, and maybe even in the things to do world, right? So you see that there will be a major shift in the next 5 to 10 years on how we will do this. So now we all maybe go to the website of the company. I think that will change in the long run. So you will probably go to sort of a things to do platform, or maybe it will be in your Airbnb environment or in your Booking.com environment, or maybe in your Groupon will take another role, or another local player. Google Maps is very important. And if you will find it there, your company, then probably you want to make the booking also there. And I think that will be one of the biggest shifts that will happen in the next 5 to 10 years. I know our industry is not ready for it. I also know Google isn't even not ready for it. So it will take time, but definitely distribution, and more than online booking, distribution of your experience and distribute online will be more important. Well, and distribution is something else than marketing, right? It's work that needs to be done. It's about channeling and integrating and working on that. And I think that will be very important.
Another cool topic, and this is something that you approached earlier in our chat. We all know that parties, private parties, events play a huge role in the revenue of any family entertainment center. What are some of the tips that you have in mind when it comes to party and events bookings?
Well, this one is really important in relation to what you just mentioned about the current economic situation, right? Because they are directly affected by the COVID pandemic. What we see in our data is that a lot of the bigger groups are hesitating to book. Especially companies are hesitating to book because they all have company policy to not come together, which is obviously very logical. What we do see on the short term now is that there are lots more of smaller groups, let's say 6 to 12, 6 to 10 people, which is more like a department outing or a department who wants to do something together, or maybe some colleagues who do it unofficially and do something together. So it's shifting from the official event part and the official, this is our company outing, more to a unofficial, smaller group that needs to be together. So And I think that is one of the small things that you can pay attention in your product mix, in your deal mix, in your pricing. That makes sure that you have good deals there for the smaller groups, and make sure they are easy to book, clear, give a good explanation about the hygiene measures you take, and make sure they have a safe feeling. So I think that's one part. The other side is that I think in the online part, I don't think you can book a big event completely online yet. And I don't know if it will ever happen. I don't know if it will do so. So it depends on what you call a big event. Is that already from 20 people, or is it over 100, right? So you can discuss about it. But let's say, I think the most important part is make sure you do more than just a form on your website. Because for sure, the customer who's looking for it, or the contact person, or the first one who's willing to show interest, he will definitely need to have more than only a form, and he has to wait for your answer in the next business day to give you all the details and maybe a brochure. So make sure you put some of your offerings online, and let people choose what they can do and can't do. So let them play with the options, and let them make like sort of an online feel of what it will cost them, or what they can do, or what they can book at your facility. And that will help very much to get the sales cycle a lot shorter, because people just won't accept anymore. They just, if they can't see what you're offering, they probably will churn and leave your website. So be open and transparent about your offerings.
Exactly. That makes so much sense, especially right now in the current days.
Yeah.
Are there any big differences in terms of online bookings and bookings in general, depending on the geographical area? For example, are there differences in the States compared to Europe, compared to, I don't know, Australia, as customers are concerned?
I think the only thing we see is that it is geographically, there are differences. There are differences in the way people are used to pay up front. There are differences in the way how people are used to pay maybe the service fee or a booking fee themselves, instead of that the entrepreneur will pay them. So there are different ways in that way. But in general, I think you can compare it with the digital advancedness of the region. So for example, even in the States, there are different regions where you can see different booking patterns going on. So more urban areas are more able or more willing to book online, and in a little bit more rural areas, a little bit less. And some countries have a lot of adaptation already to online booking and online buying, and you see that there also is more online booking. So I think it's not really one thing you can say, but it goes in the same way as the online adaptation of maybe online shopping and e-commerce.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're close to the ending of our talk. And my last question for you, Eugene, is what will be your number one advice for FEC owners and operators?
And if I relate it to online booking, because I can give a lot more advice, but if I relate it to online booking and stay in this thing, then for me that would be picture the world where you want to be in a few years and how your customer will reach you then, and try to work towards that. So and I think that's the most important thing. So focus on how the customer wants to reach you. And that will never be fully online. That will never be fully on phone. You probably need a mix of that, and work towards that mix, and make it as easy as possible for a customer to reach you and book you and get to your facility. And I think that's the most important advice I can give you. And this one is changing, so that gives a lot of uncertainty and changes and in your operations and your marketing mix. But I think focusing on the customer and how we want to reach you is the best advice you can get.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, guys, that was it. Eugene, thank you once again.
Thank you, Stefan. Thank you for having me. I hope you had an insight about online booking, and I hope this is what you were expecting as well.
And I love that it was straight to the point. That matters a lot. and the value comes specifically from the experience that you guys have. And it's amazing to see that I got to speak with somebody that's handling bookings all over the world, especially and dedicated for the FEC environment.
Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you, Eugene. Take care and speak to you soon then.
Thank you very much.